Hello, everybody. This is Tony Gordon from T. Gordon Salon Talks, and I am so proud to have my very own sister here, Kathrine Gordon, who is a hairdresser to the stars because she does a lot of hair for major motion pictures, but you've also worked in television and you have worked in theater.
Yes.
And a whole variety of things creating characters. So tell us about your career. And I know people are going to be really interested in this because you do come from this hairdressing family, but also there are so many kids out there who think they want to do what you are doing. And they want to learn what it is because you're really working with some amazing stars. Yes. And you're really doing it. You're in Hollywood. And so tell us what are some of the famous movies and TV shows that you've worked on?
Back history, since I've been doing this for almost 40 years now. Yes, I'm old enough to have done Wayne's World. Yes, I did Wayne's World 1 and 2. That's always my joke with young people, and they're like, really? And I'm like, yes, I'm sorry to say I'm that old. But I'm still working in the business. Oh my goodness, I've done that movie. I've done Traffic. I've done the first Ocean's 11, which was really exciting because I got to design a lot of work for Ocean's 11. Mm-hmm. That then they had to move on to the next 2 and 3 films and copy my ideas and my work, so that part is kind of exciting. I had a great chance to work with Wes Craven on Scream 3, which was a really amazing...
Really?
Yes.
Was that fun to do?
It was really scary to do, actually. Yes, because every place where we went was really scary. In real life, it was really scary.
Wow.
I've had a chance to work with some just amazing directors through the time, which is, Michael Mann, Michael Bay, James Mangold, David O. Russell. I mean, the list can go on. I've been really super fortunate.
And these
design
people have...
a lot of things. I got to design the first Austin Powers in hair. And right now, this last year, I've been working a lot with Anne Hathaway on 3 different projects. 3 that have not come out yet, which is a big movie that's going to be, it's called Serenity. It comes out in January. The other one is called The Hustle, which is a comedy, which is hilariously funny.
Anne Hathaway.
And she's brilliant. And then we just finished this little project called Modern Love, which was really amazing and very character-driven. So
she chooses you to do this work.
Yes. The way it works is that she gets a hold of my resume somehow. We're kind of on our own little world. And she looks over many resumes, and then she decides who she wants to work with, and then your availability, and that's how it works.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you prep for all these different characters?
The first thing I do is you have to read a script. And from the script, ideas start popping up into my head. Now, remember, we kind of we're going to pass our ideas along to the actors, the director, with ideas that come up into my own head for that particular script. So you're basically making a whole person that's on the page. It's not like in a salon where you're just dealing with your client of what fits for them also, which is really important. Like, you don't want to do the wrong haircut in a salon that doesn't fit the person, who they are as a person. Like,
right.
Who they are they athletic, or what kind of clothes do they wear? And you know what I mean? When
you have to think deeply about the character because you have time.
No,
like, is it a period thing?
You don't have a lot
I don't
of
mean
time.
that. I mean, like, you have the period that it's in. You might have place. So even though you're talking about, let's say, something in the 1960s, you have 1960s London, you have 1960s New York.
Yes.
Right? 2 different things.
Or maybe in the country.
Or right.
Like, maybe in a small town. It just depends on the dictation.
So do you storyboard it
of what the script is? No, I don't. We start with what we call a breakdown. It's done on paper. And the script supervisor, it starts with scene 1. Right. You read the whole thing first, maybe a couple of times. And then you're going to start coming up with ideas about what would be the best way to present and who that character is, of how you think in your head. And I happen to think in character a lot, which has nothing to do with the real actor, has to do with the character that's written on the page. And then you present your ideas and pictures You kind of do not a storyboard so much, but maybe pictures, research on that character. And many characters, it depends if I'm just doing one person or if I'm doing the department head. I could have 100 people.
Oh my goodness.
And
what do you mean department head? So you might be working on a character, and then if you're a department head,
you're working on everybody.
You're working on everybody.
Yes.
What do you mean? So there's some of these films have hundreds of people.
Hundreds.
Maybe more.
Yes, exactly. So I do research for background and how the background should be. And then you do research for each character and who is that character on that page. It's all about what's written. They don't tell you how to do the hair. You're putting together the time, the location, what the script says about the person, that you're coming up with your own backstory about the person. I also go see the wardrobe department to see how they're going to dress somebody, because you really cannot do great hair of any kind, even in a salon, if you don't understand about fashion and the person for that time.
Oh, yes.
Right?
People need to,
you have to, hair starts at the top and it works its way down. Otherwise, you don't understand about composition and what looks good on someone's figure or their physique for a guy. You have to understand everything about somebody, even in a salon, if you want return customers.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Same thing.
So does this mean you really you need to know how to do everything from classic blowouts and haircuts and, right? Tell us about all that. I mean, for the kids that are out there who are listening to this saying, oh, I want to work in Hollywood. What do they need to know?
Well, the first thing I suggest is the number one thing, no matter what, as I said before, in confidence. So you have total confidence. You need 5 years salon experience in a top salon that does every kind of person's hair, no matter what.
You mean all ethnic varieties?
Absolutely.
Right.
So that you have total confidence. You know how to blow them dry. You know how to. You also, and while you're doing that, you need to be a little bit old-fashioned. If you really want success in the theatrical world, you need to know how to do finger waves.
Yes.
You need to know how to do pin curls. You need to know how to do hot roller sets. You need to know how to do a normal block set. And if you don't have an interest in that, you really won't get far in the theatrical business, because the best people in our industry, when we look for help, comes out of the theatrical world. And if you can combine that with at least 5 years in the salon world, you're going to be good to go. And you're still going to start at the bottom.
Right.
Because there's so much more to running a department, and you have to have experience running that many people and running a whole movie. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of experience.
So you have like a trailer, right,
and
on
tents,
the set,
and tents for all the background,
and these hairdressers. You're working all these hairdressers to get these looks, sometimes for a big cast.
Yes, but it's different than a salon, because the hairdresser can't just do whatever he wants. There's designs that have been okayed by the director. And in television, it would be more the producers, but in film, it's the director. It's a director's medium in film. And in television, it's a producer's medium, because the producers are normally the writers, and there's a showrunner. So they're in charge. It's different. And they've all been okayed. So they can't just do whatever they want. They have to do what's on my boards, and they have to know how to do it.
Yeah.
And it takes a learning curve.
Have you ever had to fire anybody?
Only one person in 40 years.
Oh, that's good.
I don't fire people.
I've had to do more than that, but okay, here in the salon.
Sometimes my favorite person is someone who's totally honest with me, having fear of saying, wow, I've never worked on a period film before, and I want to know how to do it. And I met this one guy, he's a huge department head now. This is years ago. And he said, oh, I'm so glad you told me that. Because people have fear of saying, I've never done this before, but we've all started there, where we never did that before, even with a lot of experience. And so this is what I did at that time. I had a huge film. We had at least 600 to 1,000 background a day on Dorothy Dandridge years ago. And so
Dorothy Dandridge?
Yes. And I introduced him I had a lot of old timers there, and they love to teach. Everybody loves to teach in here. So I said, I'm going to introduce you to someone, and I put him right by the woman who I said, this is what I suggest that you do. There's so many people here that every single person that she takes, go find somebody else with the same haircut in that line and sit them next to her and copy every little thing she does for 1 week. Because you're going to be here for over a week. You're going to be here for 3 weeks. We have so many scenes to do. The exact haircuts so that he could actually copy them and not get lost. And after 2 weeks, you're going to know this inside and out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. And they ended up falling in love with each other. You know,
Right.
She loved teaching it. He loved learning it. He's a huge department head now and has been for many years.
That's awesome.
And that is, I think, a really great way to say, okay, come on with me. Let me show you how to do this.
So you have this sharing community even at that level, because this is like...
No, that's how I am.
Yeah, that's how you are.
That's how I am.
You didn't mention wig making. At that... In a lot of these films, you need to know how to make wigs, or does that get farmed out?
No, you don't really need to know how to make wigs. You need, well, I shouldn't say that.
You need to fit
Let's
them?
go back to the beginning.
Yeah.
Of not only do you need to work in a salon for 5 years, but if you can somehow in your community, wherever you are, there's an opera company, go call them.
The opera companies.
Call them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. If they don't pay you any money, go over there and work for free. Because you'll learn how to put on a wig. You'll learn how to style a wig. You'll learn how to do all the periods there. And if you could do that at the same time that you're doing hair in the salon and do the shows, you'll be moving quicker into that department of what we need.
Right.
You need to really know how to do everything.
And you did a lot of theater when you first started. I think even in high school, I'm your little brother. I remember you doing theater when I was a little kid.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
I totally did a lot of theater.
Backstage, yeah.
No, back then, no. On stage.
On stage.
On stage.
Uh-huh.
And then after working in the salon, I went back to school to be a wig maker at San Francisco Opera.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just young. I was already, I was just 21, but I already had 5 years experience in the salon because I started so young.
Wow. So then you went to New York after that.
First, I went to school at San Francisco Opera.
Uh-huh.
Then I did 3 years of bus and truck tours across the United States.
Oh.
And then I moved to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And within school, we also did a lot of shows.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh my God, we did all kinds of shows, all
Right.
kinds of theatrical shows besides, because I was at San Francisco Opera. So we did the ballet, and I got to work with people who were, 50, 60 years my senior, who had a lot of experience, and they're still amazing. San Francisco Opera people are really amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They're amazing. They're terrific hairdressers. They're terrific theatrical hairdressers. They can do anything.
So now you've been doing hair all these years.
For 40 years.
For 40 years.
Yeah.
And you're literally you're in the academy. You're one
In
of
my
the
division.
In your division.
Yes.
So tell us about how the academy works.
The academy works is that you have to be nominated by peers within your own division. You have to have 2 nominations. And you have to have, at the time when I was in since 2008, you had to have at least 5 department head credits. At the time that I was interested in being part, or someone suggested you might want to be part of the academy, I had 17 department head credits. And we watch about 500 movies to scale it down to where 7 go to the bake-off. From the bake-off, where we present 10 minutes of the movie, and then within our division, we end up voting on 3, and 3 get nominated, and then from there it becomes an Oscar for that year.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. And you've been involved with other awards as well.
The Television Academy.
What is that?
Well, we for the Television Academy, once you win an Emmy,
mm-hmm.
They ask you if you'd like to be part of the Academy, so that you can also vote within your own division.
Mm.
And you also get to vote for other things besides your own division. Like even in the Academy Awards, I get to vote for like Best Picture, different divisions.
So you won an Emmy?
Yes, yes. I won an Emmy for introducing Dorothy Damridge. And then on that particular job, I was department head. And then on the other ones, I was nominated because I was part of a team, but I was not the department head.
Mm-hmm.
And they were nominated. They didn't win, but they were nominated, which is hard enough.
You also won a BAFTA, which is a British award.
It's a British Academy Award.
Mm-hmm. Tell us about that.
Well, BAFTA is a British Academy Award, and I won that for American Hustle.
American Hustle.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So what's it like to work with Christian Bale?
Oh, he's great. I've been fortunate enough to work with him on 4 other movies.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just terrific. I mean, he's a great actor. And he's really open to suggestions. And he's just a brilliant actor, and he's a really nice guy.
So how did you remember that opening scene in American Hustle where he's playing with his hair? I think his bangs. Did you come up with that?
I did come up with that. It's what we do is we read a script, and in the script, David O. Russell did say he wanted Christian's character to have a comb over, but they don't tell you exactly how or what kind. So the tricky part about that particular comb over is that we didn't do it with prosthetics. I did it with a haircut, which is really tricky because he's got no receding whatsoever. He's got a full head of hair. And you have to match it for the entire movie. And they ended up rewriting the opening because of what I kind of came up with.
Right.
And it was so unusual, and it was such one of those characters that on paper, when you read a script, I mean, I'm sure everyone saw the movie. The Christian's character was a shyster, basically.
Right.
And, I think the thing that was a big hit about it was that it was believable. And it was very tricky as a hairdresser to be able to do that without prosthetics and no extra pieces being made or a ball cap. It was all done by a haircut. And then, of course, you have to redo it every single day, and you have to match it.
Yes.
And to make it believable.
Right.
That is the tricky part.
Yeah, and I know, can you talk a little bit about that? And I think a lot of people who watch films, I mean, some people are really observant and they realize, oh, this cup was here in one part of the scene and then it was in another part. And this is something that they call continuity.
No, continuity.
Continuity. And it's but in hair and makeup, and specifically
it's not just hair and makeup. It's
everything.
It's props, it's set dressing. We all have continuity books. We keep documents every day of every day, every scene of exactly what the hair looked like on four sides, because it might be moving, or they might take an actor and actress and they shoot them walking in the door. In 6 months, they're walking out the door. They have to match.
Literally, the scene can be done.
It could be
even
anywhere.
A year later.
They could walk in the door on stage and walk out the door in some location that's, that they don't really know. The audience doesn't really know where we shoot these things. And it could be done anywhere. It could be done a year later for reshoots, and you have to match everything. So we have a serious continuity book that we do so that we can match. And also we can pass our work on in case you're doing reshoots and you're not available.
Right. So this is for very highly professional people
that
are really conscientious and paying attention.
You learn how to be. We get taught.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you have to be on set when people are doing a scene to move the hair around, to do that kind of thing?
Yes. We touch them up all day long.
Yeah. In fact, I have called you where you are whispering on the phone. You must be just off set where you and I are talking.
Right. You can't talk on set. The camera's rolling, and you can hear a pin drop, and you can't talk on set.
Can't talk on set.
Until they say cut, and then you can talk on set.
Right.
Unless it's a really serious emotional scene, and then we don't talk on set.
And then you have to run in there, move the hair around possibly, do whatever it is.
They say finals, and we do it then.
And at the same time, somebody else is working the makeup, somebody else is working the clothes, or whatever props, and they're coaching the person as well at the same time.
Sometimes, yes. Sometimes, yes.
So it's a crazy scene. Sounds pretty exciting.
I love it. I still love it after 4 years. I do.
Yeah.
I feel like, I tell when young people, ask me, no matter what you dream about doing, if you keep going and if you just keep going with what you dream about doing, and along the way, if you decide you don't want to do it, that's okay. But whatever you do, if you have a dream about something, no matter what it is, you just keep on marching forward, and eventually it will come to you. Just keep going. It doesn't even have to be about hair or this end of the business. It's about anything. Just keep going. But, along the way, sometimes we think as young people that it's like, is it ever going to happen? And all of a sudden, time marches on and it happened. So you have to be there and focus in and have a real love for what you're doing.
Did you have a vision of this even as far back as you could think of, like, in beauty school? Did you have a vision that this is really
I knew
what
when
you
I
wanted
went to
to do?
beauty school, even though my entire family does hair, that I was going to be a theatrical hairstylist. That's what I was going to be. I knew it from the beginning. That's what I was going to be. I wasn't sure the route, how to take that route. I didn't know how to have the door get opened. I really didn't. And I asked a lot of questions. It took me 2 years to find a school, to go back to school, because I realized that there was a whole, even after beauty school and being an assistant and having my own clients, I still didn't really quite understand about wigs. And in America, we don't learn about that. In Europe, they do. In Europe, right off the bat, they don't have like licensings, but right off the bat, when you're becoming a hairstylist, or, unless you apprentice in a salon in America, right off the bat, part of hairdressing school is learning about wigs in Europe. So they're one step ahead of us if you want to go and be theatrical and you don't want to work in a salon.
In Europe, right?
In Europe, not in America.
In the groups you're working with in Hollywood, do you end up with a lot of Europeans that you're working with at the same time?
Some Brits end up coming over. A few people. A few people. Yes, because a lot of people want to work in the United States. But you also
have worked all over the world doing this.
I've been
all over the place.
I have had such a great career.
Yeah.
I really got my dream. I just stuck with it. And, I am a finisher. This is what I say to people no matter what. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. And mine has not ended. I'm still full force working. And I really love doing hair, and I love making characters. And I like working on regular people, too. And you just keep on going. And you'll get your dream. This is what I dreamt about doing. And I have been really lucky. And also, I really love adventure. Yeah. So that's all part of it. We all like something different. I love adventure. I like the unknown. And I like to travel. And I like climbing mountains. And
this has been a mountain.
No, not in that.
You mean
physically.
actual?
I like climbing mountains. Some of my work is, all the work in theatrical work is very physical. So in a salon, it's physical too, but it's really physical with what we do. To do that, you really need to keep in shape.
Long days, I'll bet.
Long days, long hours, and you need to keep in shape. So you can climb that mountain, because you will be climbing mountains.
Yeah, what if there's 1,000 extras? You got to do them all into that hairstyle, 1,000 military guys all need to look like
they did the opening shot
Marines or something. And they all have to have their hair cut short.
The opening shot of Transformer, the very first Transformer, if you look at all that background running to the airplanes, it was everybody was in high and tights.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a department head. Yeah, you're running everything. You can't physically do everything, but you have a team of people that you're in charge of, and you're also doing hair. You're not just running.
So you do one of the principals, and you have to deal with all these.
No, you're going to maybe necessarily do lots of principals, and you're coming in sometimes in the morning and overseeing your help, doing the background the way that you need them and you want them done. Yes.
Wow. Early starts, late nights, etc.
Yes.
Sometimes in weird locations.
Yes. And in the rain. Yes.
And in the rain.
Yes. And in the snow, and it's freezing. And sometimes it's really hot and humid. Rain. Yes. Yes.
Who are your favorite people to work with?
I've worked with just so many actors that I just love. There isn't really anyone that I have not enjoyed working with.
That's great.
I've been really fortunate. Oh my God, Amy Adams, Christian Bale, Brad Pitt, Annie Hathaway. There's just a list. Shia LaBeouf. I have really
love him.
I could give you a list. I can't even remember the list. But there isn't anyone I have not enjoyed working with on every single project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, Kathrine Gordon, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us.
I know, it's my first time. Congratulations on your podcast.
I love doing it. It brings information to a lot of people that I think need it. And I'm sure that there are very few interviews like this one that have been done for people who are really interested in going into your industry. And I love giving you the chance to really sing and toot your own horn a little bit, because you have done a tremendous job, and you have had an amazing career, and I think that it's absolutely fantastic.
I've been really lucky, but people say you make your own luck, and that's why I always tell young people, just keep on going. If you have a dream, at least try your dream out so that you don't have any regrets and you have a wonderful life, and you just keep on going, and you get it, because I got mine.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.